What if I told you that one of the most elegant, graceful, and commanding central defenders England has ever produced secretly owed his talent to ballet? This is the unbelievable, heartbreaking, and ultimately inspiring story of a true football legend. To make sure you never miss tales like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because our journey into football's heart starts now. In the heart of South London, amidst the vibrant, chaotic, and often unforgiving streets of Peckham, a boy named Rio Ferdinand was dreaming. But his dreams weren't just about the roar of the crowd or the perfect sliding tackle. No, his dreams were a desperate whisper for a life beyond the concrete jungle that surrounded him, a world away from the familiar challenges of his neighborhood. Few who saw that lanky kid with the infectious smile could have ever imagined he was destined to become one of the greatest defenders of his generation, an icon of class on the pitch and a titan of courage off it. Born on November 7, 1978, Rio was a child of modern London, a beautiful blend of cultures, with his Irish heritage mother Janice and his father Julian of St. Lucian descent. But growing up in Peckham during the 80s and 90s was no fairy tale. It was a place teeming with life, but also with challenges, where temptations lurked around every corner for a young boy trying to find his way. Yet it was in this crucible, this tough, demanding environment, that Rio's iron will was forged. He learned to stand tall, to fight for what he wanted, and to never ever give up. When Rio was just 14, his parents separated. It was a blow, but his father Julian remained a constant, devoted presence. It was Julian who first lit the fire for football in his son's heart, driving him to countless training sessions, nurturing the seed of a dream that would one day blossom for the world to see. But Rio's path wasn't just shaped by the football pitch. His mother Janice, a woman of incredible strength and boundless love, saw more in her children. She wanted them to explore every facet of their potential. And so, she enrolled young Rio in ballet classes at the prestigious Central School of Ballet. Imagine that. The future Hardman of England's defense practicing his plie. Those lessons, however, were transformative. They gave him the balance, the grace, and the agility that would later become the defining trademarks of his unique, elegant style of play. More than that, they taught him a fierce discipline, a dedication that would serve him for the rest of his life. Rio's talent for football was impossible to ignore. This tall, rangy kid, with his deceptively long strides and an almost supernatural ability to read the game, began turning heads. Scouts whispered his name. After trialing at several clubs, he found his home at the Youth Academy of West Ham United, a place legendary for minting English footballing gold. There, alongside a breathtakingly gifted group of youngsters, Frank Lampard, Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, Rio became part of a new golden generation for the Hammers. What a player he was becoming. But dealing with the pressure of expectation at such a young age is a massive challenge. I often wonder, what do you think is the hardest part for a young prodigy? The weight of a price tag or the roar of the crowd, expecting a miracle every game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. On the 5th of May, 1996, the moment arrived. At just 17 years old, Rio Ferdinand stepped onto the pitch for his first team debut. The boy from Peckham was living the dream he'd barely dared to whisper. He played with a poise, a cool confidence that belied his years, showcasing a tactical intelligence that was simply astonishing for a player so young. He quickly cemented his place, not just as a defender who stopped goals, but as a modern libero, a ball-playing artist who could launch devastating attacks from deep within his own half with one sweeping pinpoint pass. His class was undeniable. By the end of the 1997-98 season, he was crowned the West Ham United Hammer of the Year, a testament to his explosive talent and incredible progress. Naturally, the big clubs started circling, and in November of 2000, Leeds United, a rising force in English football, shattered the British transfer record, paying a colossal £18 million to bring him to Elland Road. At the time, it was also the world record fee for a defender. The pressure could have crushed him. But not Rio. He wore that price tag, not as a burden, but as a crown. He instantly became the commander of the Leeds defense, the calm at the heart of the storm, leading them on a fairy tale run to the semi-finals of the Champions League in his very first season. At Leeds, Rio wasn't just a promising talent anymore. He was evolving into a truly world-class colossus. His composure on the ball, his reading of the game, his flawless technique, he was a fortress. But Leeds' dream was built on fragile financial foundations. The club began to crumble, forced to sell its brightest stars. And once again, Rio Ferdinand found himself at the center of another history-making transfer. In the summer of 2002, the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson came calling. He didn't just knock. He broke the door down, convincing Manchester United to spend $30 million, breaking the defender transfer record for a second time. It was an audacious move, a massive gamble. But Sir Alex saw the future. He knew he wasn't just buying a player. He was investing in the bedrock of his next great dynasty. Wearing the iconic number 5 shirt for Manchester United, Rio Ferdinand stepped into the golden era of his career. Alongside Nemanja Vidić, he formed what many still argue is the greatest center-back partnership the Premier League has ever seen. They were footballing poetry in motion. Vidić, the Serbian warrior, brutal, fierce, uncompromising. Rio, the English artist, calm, intelligent, and impossibly elegant. They were the perfect storm, the immovable object, and the unstoppable force, all rolled into one defensive unit. They were the foundation upon which Sir Alex built his last great empire. In his 12 years at Old Trafford, the theater of dreams, Rio won everything. 6 Premier League titles, 2 League Cups, a FIFA Club World Cup, and the crowning glory, the pinnacle of European football, the UEFA Champions League in 2008. I can still see it now on that rain-slicked night in Moscow after Ryan Giggs was substituted. It was Rio who took the captain's armband. It was Rio who stepped up and lifted that beautiful gleaming silver trophy into the night sky. That single moment cemented his place forever as a living legend of Manchester United. For over a decade, he was also the backbone of the England national team, earning 81 caps and representing the 3 Lions at 3 World Cups. He was a true giant of the game. Stories of legendary partnerships like his are what make football so special. If you want to dive deeper into the tales of football's greatest teams and the icons who defined them, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. But life, as we all know, is not always a happy song. Behind the blinding glory of the pitch, Rio Ferdinand was about to face a personal tragedy so profound, it would have broken most people. In 2015, his beloved wife Rebecca Ellison, the woman he adored, passed away at just 34 years old after a short, brutal battle with breast cancer. It was a cataclysmic shock, a wound that would never truly heal. In an instant, Rio the football hero was gone. In his place stood a single father, utterly alone, left to care for his 3 devastated young children. His world collapsed. He walked through the darkest days imaginable, drowning in a sea of grief and unbearable loneliness. But it is in these moments of utter despair that the true character of a person is revealed. And the spirit forged on the streets of Peckham, the resilience of a warrior rose from the ashes. He faced his grief head-on, learning stumbling, but always learning to be both a father and a mother to his kids. He courageously opened his heart to the world, sharing his journey in the documentary Rio Ferdinand Being Mum and Dad. It was a raw, deeply moving film that touched millions and rightfully won a prestigious BAFTA award. But the pain wasn't over. Unthinkably, just 2 years later, cancer struck again. This time, it took his mother Janice, his rock, His steadfast emotional anchor, the woman who first believed in him. Two of the most important women in his life, gone. The weight of that loss is almost impossible to comprehend. If Rio's story of resilience in the face of such heartbreak has moved you, please consider sharing this video. You never know who might need to hear a story of strength like his. But Rio Ferdinand did not crumble. He refused. He channeled his immense pain into purpose. He became a powerful social advocate, launching a charitable foundation in his name to support young people from disadvantaged communities, giving them the chances he had to fight for. He became a vital voice in the conversation around mental health, bravely speaking out to support other widowers and destigmatize grief. After leaving Manchester United in 2014, Rio played a brief final season at Queen's Park Rangers before officially hanging up his boots in 2015. With his glorious playing career at an end, a new chapter began. He transformed into one of the most insightful, sharp, and beloved football pundits in the game, lending his expertise to BT Sport. With his deep knowledge and articulate analysis, he gave fans a richer understanding of the beautiful game. Beyond the studio, he thrived as a businessman and a dedicated philanthropist. He also found love again, rebuilding his life and his family with his wife Kate Ferdinand, who became a wonderful, loving stepmother to his children. Rio Ferdinand's life is an epic, a story of breathtaking talent, relentless drive, unimaginable glory, and heartbreaking tragedy. He journeyed from a hopeful boy in Peckham to an undisputed icon of world football. But maybe, just maybe, the greatest legacy he leaves behind isn't the trophies or the highlight reels. Perhaps his true legacy is the story of a man who stared into the abyss of human suffering and found his way back to the light, inspiring millions with his courage. He is more than just a great player. He is a symbol of resilience, of love, and of hope. His story is a powerful testament that no matter what life throws at us, no matter how deep the darkness, with an unbreakable will, we can all stand up and move forward stronger than before. From a rough diamond in Peckham, Rio, Ferdinand learned to shine not just on the pitch, but in the biggest game of all life itself. And that's where this incredible football story concludes. What a journey, right? I'm so eager to hear your thoughts. What moment stood out to you the most? Did this player's struggle resonate with you? Please share all your opinions, your favorite moments, and any questions you have in the comments below. I truly love reading them and building this amazing football community with all of you.